Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Andy, and once again, I'm here with another amazing guest who is also going to be participating with us on Saturday, January 31st at Casa, Hacienda at our 2026 wellness event. So please help me welcome today Angela Lombrozo with My Brain Buddies. Angela, thank you for coming in. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to talk a little bit about Brain Buddies, and also you're going to be on a panel on the 31st as well. So right out the gate, I want to kind of remind everybody, hey, if you haven't signed up yet, go click that link in the description box below, sign up for the event. You're going to meet all the wonderful people you've been seeing in this interview series, and you're also going to meet Angela and her husband, Alex, who's going to be coming in here shortly too. So Angela, let's talk about what Brain Buddies is. What are you going to be doing at the event on the 31st, and why is this so important to you? So let's introduce everybody. What is Brain Buddies?
Right. Thank you so much. So My Brain Buddies was born in March 2024 after the diagnosis of one of my daughters with Tourette syndrome. And in that journey, I realized that there's not enough representation of the neurodivergent community in the toy industry. So that's issue number one. The second issue that we're solving in My Brain Buddies is the toxicity in the toy industry, particularly in the plushies that our kids love to sleep with, put in their mouth, and just use for grounding in general. So what we're doing is we're creating a movement. We're educating people. We're raising awareness in both Spanish and English about neurodiversity.
I love that. Then maybe this is just getting too far down the road too quick. But you know, when you were first trying to find products for your daughter, how did you feel seeing how few options there were that were helpful to her?
It was very scary to find out that most of the plushies that our kids love are made out of polyester, which are microplastics that are harmful to the health. And also seeing that there's not toys or education at a kid level so we can understand what Tourette syndrome is, what autism is. So that in the classroom setting, a teacher can teach the kids, but also family members that are not doctors or specialists can explain to other family members in the community. So it was a lonely, scary journey, but that's why I'm here to change that.
Much like a lot of the, it's just like this recurring theme on these Casa interviews is where there's something like so highly personal that's motivated the panelists we have coming, the people that are doing demonstrations, teaching, guiding, leading, making the food even. Mm-hmm. When I've been doing these interviews, there's such a highly personal and sometimes even private reason why they're so motivated to do this. So I'm not surprised that you've said this. At the same time, I want to make sure that I'm encouraging the people that might be watching this that are feeling discouraged as a mom or even as a dad or even a sibling that maybe you do have a family member and someone that you love that either if it's not Tourette's, it's something else that might be negatively impacted by the composition of the toys we have, the clothes we wear, the things we touch, and even the sheets we sleep in, all that kind of thing. I want you to feel encouraged to come and be around other people who have had a situation like yours. I think something's changing in like this space that we're in, where people are more open to talking about like the problem that they're having and then finding a solution. Yeah. Were you ever hesitant about like expressing the need for help that you had?
100%, because I feel like every diagnosis comes with a stigma, and that's because we don't have the education to understand that all brains work differently, and the support on a family level, school level, but also as a community. So yes, there's always hesitation, and I feel like a lot of parents have that. Once you get a diagnosis, what do you do with that diagnosis, right? So you start learning, you start trying to find a community, but also talking to other family members and community members, and they might not have the information. So that stigma, that, being scared, being ashamed of, certain situations. But that's why these conversations are so important, and to raise awareness so that we can better support the neurodivergent community, and also just as a community, because the reality is, even if if you're not neurodivergent yourself, or you don't have a neurodivergent child, most likely, at some point in your life, your child or yourself are going to come in contact with a neurodivergent individual, be it a work partner, community member, an employee, an employer. So the more we understand, the more we come from a place of compassion, respect, and just understanding to have a better community.
So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be sharing on the 31st at the event. What kinds of things are you hoping to inform and educate the attendees about?
Yeah, so it's going to be a very powerful panel. So I'm going to be there myself, but we're going to have a chemist, engineer, a doctor, and also a neurodivergent entrepreneur herself. So we're going to be mixing a little bit of neurodiversity and being an entrepreneur, but also talking about cognitive decline. So the things that we do now, the choices that we do now can affect our future. And most people think Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive decline, it's something that you talk about when you're older, when you get a diagnosis. But the reality is it starts in your 20s. It starts now. The things that you do now will affect your future, your health, and your family.
So paint like a big picture for me, for my brain buddies. What is it you're hoping will happen either because of events like this or relationships that happen in the community and in business? What's the vision for my brain buddies?
It's a great question. So the vision is to have a platform, to have a community of people understanding, raising awareness, and coming together to support, again, the neurodivergent community, but also kids. So they understand that brains work differently and have compassion and respect and understanding, just basic understanding about Tourette syndrome, ADHD, autism, to have a better world in general.
Yeah. What are you hoping that people, I'm assuming that people are going to want to ask questions. If they do, what are you hoping people will ask you about? What would you want some attendee to like raise their hand and like either for your own ability to like answer them or for them to have some sort of like connection where maybe they felt, again, I go down this path of like in other parts of my life where I felt like I was the only one going through a situation. I know I'm not, but at the same time, like I'm the only one going, like having this whine fest, But, what are you hoping if someone comes, what are you hoping that they will ask you that you can like impart some encouragement, share some insight or some positivity for them?
Yeah, so there'll be room for a lot of questions to ask the doctors, the engineers, but in particular for me, I would love for, parents or even if you're not a parent, just yourself, if you feel like there's something different about you, if your brain is not neurotypical, to ask me what my journey was like and so that I can emphasize how important it is that we understand how our brain works, but also for our kids so we can understand them better and we can help them be successful in life, at school, and with the community and just, the social environment. So asking about diagnosis and how important it is to get a diagnosis. And the earlier you get it, the better. But also the toxicity in toys that we often don't talk about.
So I know that was my next question is actually about the toys. Is that, are you going to just stop at toys? Because I know that's the thing that kind of kicked off my brain buddies, but are you looking at a future where maybe it's beyond the toy industry? What other kinds of things can people be looking for and listening for as opportunities for your company's long-term growth to, serve in these same type of areas?
Yeah, so right now, each plushie, so we have Benny the Brain represents Tourette syndrome, and he's very intentional. The color that we're using, the name, and everything about him, he has sparkles in his brain, and there's a reason for that. But he also comes with a storybook, and this storybook is both in Spanish and English, educating people what Tourette syndrome is and how we can support an individual with Tourette syndrome. And then we have Sunny the Brain. Sunny the Brain represents ADHD, and he comes with a storybook as well to talk about what ADHD is. And we have the autism one, which I'm not going to release yet, but the name is coming soon. And it will come with the book as well. So we're, again, educating. And it's not just the plushies of movement that we're doing. And aside from being organic, non-toxic, it comes with a lot of education, support, and just, for individuals that have a neurodiversity to feel represented in the toy industry.
What are you most encouraged about when you're looking forward to a Saturday and being on the panel and meeting, again, people you've already know? You're going to see a lot of familiar faces there, of course, but also a lot of people you probably have never met before. What are you most excited and encouraged about? I'm
most excited to talk about neurodiversity and cognitive decline and how we can help ourselves, help the community, and help our family members. So just creating that awareness and that space to have a conversation, which is very important. And we're so busy with daily life. We're just go with busy kids, work. But it's very important that we take the time to understand that if we don't understand how our brains work, we don't understand how our kids' brains work, it's the recipe for disaster. How can we, collaborate and work together as a community and family to help each other excel?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to have that conversation, and hopefully people are there to ask questions.
I love it. So Also, though, let's take another step. Let's talk about like who are good people for you to be introduced to. So whether people are seeing this online only, or they have seen this online and they end up meeting you at the event, what kind of either business connections are you looking for? Industry connections? Are you going to expand the product line beyond toys? What are good people for those of us who are not inside Brain Buddies with you, but can be supporters of? What would you want us to be looking for and listening for on your behalf?
Yeah, so parents, kids, schools, nonprofit organizations, really anybody that's interested in supporting this movement, anybody, going back to the previous question, you don't necessarily have to be neurodivergent or have a child as neurodivergent, but if you just want to have basic knowledge and support a movement, also if you want your child to understand what different neurodiversities are, so that your child comes from a place of empathy, that's also a person that I'm interested in having a conversation with. So I don't just have one particular group of people. I'm open to anything. Yeah. And it's been a journey for me that people that are in the financial, space are very interested in, having me and having my product for their employees or their family members. So I'm not just close to one group of people, just any individual that's open to learning and supporting the movement. I'm interested in talking to them.
That's awesome. And I know in my own life in business, it's funny, you talk to somebody and you share something and they go, oh, I know someone who can help you with this, or I know the person who has that exact thing you need, or the introduction that you're hoping for. So I wanted to give you a chance to say that because, maybe someone that's watching this or that's going to come meet you, maybe they have a key introduction for you when it comes to either the financial support of what you're doing or getting placement for your toys in certain places. So I'm also encouraged by that. And then the other thing too is I want to share and ask. And I've talked about this with a couple other guests as well. I know that I'm seeing a lot more self-awareness and vulnerability being expressed online and social media. How important is that to you when you look at this event that's all about wellness, financial wellness, physical wellness, our personal and business wellness, which uplifts the community? How important in your opinion is it that people get honest with themselves where they're at, expressing their vulnerability and being able to find the help that they're looking for?
It fills my heart to see that people are starting to have self-advocacy, but also compassion and advocacy for others. And they're giving those that don't have a voice, they are giving a chance to be represented. And yourself too. Again, if you know your brain works differently, if you understand that, you can make better choices, make better career choices as well, but self-advocate, educate people. Because if you don't have these conversations, if you don't open up, then people feel like they're alone in this journey, when in reality, there's so many of us, and it's so important that we create community. And by opening these conversations, we are creating that community to support ourselves and each other.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to reach out to you directly or reach out and understand more about My Brain Buddies? Where can people find you online and in social media spaces?
Yeah, so our website is www.mybrainbuddies.org, and on there you can have access to our email and our socials. In our social media, we have our Instagram, mybrainbuddies.org, Facebook, and TikTok as well.
Awesome. Oh, and TikTok as well. Okay. All right.
It all.
Oh my gosh. And you're managing all these things?
Yes, I am.
Okay. She's got to go. She's got a bunch of stuff to manage, as you just heard. So you know what? In the description box of the video, we'll also put your website and your social media links. Casa Hacienda has been really good at making sure that all of our guests can be reached separate from the event as well, which is also why I want to make sure you have time to talk about it. And, if you if you work with somebody who has a child in their life, or you yourself have a child in your life and you are unaware of what My Brain Buddies is doing, please register for the event, come to the event, meet Angela, meet the other people that are going to come talk on the panel and kind of explain some things while also give some insight and encouragement on others to carve and forge a better path forward. I'm really excited about this because of another part of my life where a friend of mine from college is actually the pioneer of eco fashion at Paris Fashion Week every year. Okay. And he is a absolutely noted polyester guy. I'll tell you about it. You guys are going to love it. If you don't know about prophetic apparel and wear is
something to that?
Beautiful.
So
yeah.
It's something that I didn't, because we have limited time, but
yeah.
we are very sustainable, environmentally friendly. So our plushies, aside from representing our neurodiversity and also being organic, they're very sustainable to the level where we're making sure that we have all the certification, GOT certification, to make sure that we're not using pesticides on our cotton that we're using. But it's also we are also donating to a very low income community in Peru, where they are creating a school for kids. And I've been invited to talk about neurodiversity for the parents and the teachers as well. And another thing that we're doing is we're donating to the Tourette Syndrome Association of America and other nonprofit organizations in San Diego. So that's very important to me.
No stone left unturned is what I just heard.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's awesome. Good for you. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for coming in today, by the way. I'm really excited to share this event experience with you and also Alex and all the other participants and the vendors that are going to be there, the sponsors, as well as the panelists. Last push for ticket sales. Come on, you guys. Get in there. Go to the description box. Register for the event. You're going to meet myself there. You're going to meet Angela there. You're going to meet Alex. You're going to meet so many people who are devoted to what they do within the community to help make it better for everyone involved. Angela, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for watching, and we're going to see you on Saturday, January 31st. Bye.
Don't miss out.